we have a friend. Hello, programming friends. Please introduce yourself. Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. We're just kind of waiting for everybody to get here. We're going to have a fun afternoon.
I'm gonna fix my hair. I've got my hair sticking out.
Please introduce yourself, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. We're excited that you're going to join us for our Crafternoon. We're going to make mounamana puppets today, which we're very excited about.
Tell them about the sign, Maribeth.
Oh, so as you can see right here in front of me is today's secret. I just burnt myself. What not to do. Today's secret code for our Read Squared program. So Read Squared is how we're doing our summer reading program this year. And there's an app that you can download right onto your phone or your iPad. You can't see the code. Okay. There we go. So you can download it right onto your phone or your iPad. And then you get credit for coming to programs. So this is the secret code. There's a little button at the top that says enter code. And so if you just enter Crafternoon 01, you can get credit for today's program.
Earn some points.
Yes. So again, the app is called Read Squared. Let's see who's here with us today. Terry's here. Hello, Terry. Who else is with us today? Please introduce yourself. Before we get started, we're going to get started in just a second. I don't know if anybody came and got a kit today, but we're going to be making mounamana puppets. Miss Kimberley made this one. And we had kits available at the library for you to pick up, which is really awesome. Oh, good. And there's the Mr. Andy, I think, is here today, and he put that code in for us. So if you look, he put it right into the chat, so you have it. So again, I'm Miss Maribeth, and I'm the Youth Services Librarian.
Hi, I'm Miss Kimberly. It's good to see you guys today.
And we're both at the Pond of Beach Library. So we're going to teach you how to make a mounamana puppet.
And if you like doing the crafts, today we're doing the Crafternoon mounamana puppet, and then tomorrow the county is doing our Harry Potter craft, which we at this branch, as well as at the Anastasia Island branch, have those kits for you to come pick up, and you can do it at home and do it with us.
Yes. This is what we're going to make today. Oh, yes, and we should definitely thank our friends in the library. Our friends in the library are the ones that donated all of the supplies for today's program, as well as our Read Squared app for the summer. So if you were using Read Squared, we have our friends at the library to thank.
I don't think we could do it without them. They are so integral to all of our wonderful programs. Okay, guys, so if you think you're ready to start, we can get started. You guys at home, some of you may have our little kit. It was in a brown paper bag, and it had this little Crafternoon slip on it, okay? So if you have a kit, and you open up your brown paper bag, and you look inside, you will see a few things that we provided to get you started. So there'll be part of a pool noodle. It could be different colors. So it might be green, it might be purple, it might be blue, some of them might have been red, any color, it's perfectly fine. Then we also gave you some yarn, kind of a little ball of yarn, so we'll work with that. You would also find in there probably some felt scraps. It could be any color, just a different colors. We just kind of randomly put them in there, and some googly eyes. So those might stick to the bottom of your bag. So go in there, hunt, or turn it over, shake it upside down. If you don't have a bag and you're joining us, that's okay. You can do this with us, or you can watch us and then do it on your own and still send us a neat picture of what you created. So this would be great. You can just kind of check out what we're doing and then do it on your own.
And you can kind of make a scavenger hunt out of it. So
Oh,
go around the house and look for different things that you could use to make your own mounamana puppet. But before you cut anything up, make sure you ask your caregiver, whoever is there. We don't want them coming to us and saying, well, Miss Maribeth said we could cut this up. Make sure you always ask permission.
It might be their favorite pool noodle and you just took it. So we got to check first, always check first. You'll see that in that bag was just a few supplies, and even on this table, we have more things that were in that bag because we kind of went hunting around our office, and we opened our cabinets and opened our drawers and opened our closets and found just lots of neat things that could just make our mounamana puppets. So you can do the same thing. So if you guys are ready to start, yes, thumbs up. Okay, Miss Maribeth, would you like to be purple or green?
Purple, because it matches my dress.
Purple. I'm gonna be green. I already have made one, so I'm gonna make another one with you and try and do it a little differently. So this was my finished puppet. Okay, we have to talk about the supply. So if you look at a pool noodle, everybody hold it out, and you can see there's a hole in it. Squish it, burp, burp. It's kind of like a frog's mouth. You want something that is flexible like this and squishable.
Springy.
Let's try another one. Paper. This is part of a paper towel roll that I had cut because I used the piece for something else. Same thing. Squish, squish, squish. Yep, that'll work.
So you want something that when you squish it, it kind of goes back to its original shape, right, Miss Kimberly?
Yes, and we had some other ideas too, remember?
Yep, we did. You could use, if you have a Nerf gun at home, you can actually take the little arrow piece off and it's a little mini squishy pool noodle.
Another great one if you have especially a big straw.
Like you would use for a milkshake.
A milkshake straw. Plastic straw, they're the right dimensions too. What do we mean by right? Well, if you look at the items that we picked, what do they kind of all have in common? They are longer than they are wide, okay?
So we're talking longer than they are their diameter, so their width across.
So you have to look at that because, let's see, I didn't bring.
Oh, yeah. For instance,
There you go.
a duct tape roll is round, but look, it is shorter this way than it is across. So even though it squishes a little bit, it's not gonna work for
It's not a good idea. So this is just some ideas we came up with. I am sure there is some very, very, very clever
I have another one.
switch.
Someone in their garage, I'm sure, has some of that electrical plumber black,
black.
tubing.
That would work
And
great.
it's kind of a black pool noodle looking stuff. You could ask someone to look in the garage. If there's any of that, that would work too.
I'd love to hear what other ideas you guys came up with because I'm sure you can make these puppets with so many things. But we're gonna start with the pool noodle since we provided that for some of you. So you're gonna get your pool noodle and it's already been cut for you. And moms and dads, if you're cutting this, what works fabulously is just a serrated bread knife. It cuts through it like butter. If not, of course, a pair of scissors. That will also cut through this. So those are great options. Craft knives for adults only. So what we need to decide is, first we have to figure out where our mouth cut is going to go. And that's gonna allow it to bend back and forth. So I'd say, I don't know, it really depends, maybe about halfway down.
Yep, it looks like it's about halfway, maybe a little closer to the top of his head.
So what we're gonna do is on yours, you can use, this I'm gonna just make a mark on it so you guys can see what I'm doing. You don't have to mark it, either way is fine. But we're gonna cut basically a pie shape. Everybody see that? So we have like a pie, like a shark is gonna come and bite it. And if you have a knife and mom and dad are doing this, you can use that and you're gonna cut. And you're gonna cut not all the way through. Oh no, that would be two puppets. We want one. So we're gonna cut it and we're gonna go, that's not enough because look, it doesn't even have a mouth hole. So let's go in a little deeper so that we go all the way across, 3/4 of the way through. Now, if you didn't have see, now look at this, you can see the hole in the middle. So now we have more of a mouth. If you don't have the knife, you can use scissors and just stick it in and cut out your mouth shape. Either works just fine. It's not very hard to cut. Let's make ours look presentable. Like he's been to the dentist.
Like go all the way through, Miss Kimberly?
You go all the way through the center hole and then partly through to the back portion of this.
All right.
If you don't see your hole in the middle of the tube, you haven't gone far enough. So you're basically taking a big pie shape out of it. Did everybody see that?
I'm all nervous. I'm gonna mess him up.
Oh my gosh, we can't mess them up. That's the fun part about this. This is going to be a creative endeavor, which you cannot mess up.
Okay, I'm trusting you.
I'm not perfect. I'm just kind of cleaning up his mouth a little bit so that he has a nice, good smile. So I'm gonna let everybody have a chance. Now let's test it. So, does he bend? Yep, look at that. So now, your mounamana puppet can talk. Let's see if Maribeth.
I got it.
Woohoo!
Look at that.
See? And her and I cut it probably a different amount in, but that's okay. As long as it bends, it's cut in enough. If it's not bending when you push the top down, it needs a little bit of a bigger mouth, okay? So just test that. Give everybody a chance to catch up with us. What if you're not doing a pool noodle? Okay, good question. What if you're using a paper towel roll? Super. Same idea. We would cut a shape in our paper towel roll. Same idea. And this is really easy to do with scissors. Let's see if I made a good cut. Let's test it out. Let's see if he bends. He sure does.
All right.
So you could do a paper towel roll, you could do a toilet paper roll. Let me show you one other one, because you may be using a different substance than we are. This is a paper towel roll as well. Covered it in duct tape.
Which is right here.
Why did we do that? Well, we thought it would make it stronger, which it does. Also, if you're going to make maybe a robot puppet, this is pretty
That would be cool.
So you would do the same thing. You could cut your pie shape into this.
And I think we would want it to be stronger so that it would last longer, right?
Yes, because you're going to play with this all day long, and you're going to annoy your siblings or your caregivers, because all day long you have to go like this. Ready?
We want his mouth to last.
All right, so here we are. That was step one. Does everybody feel like they're with us for step one? Perfect. Now we're going to work on step two. Miss Maribeth told me, this looks so hard. I said, it's not very hard. It's not very hard. Now we have to make a string that goes along his forehead here, and this is how we were able to pull him up and down. So if you're using the yarn that we gave you, or you're using, might have twine.
You could also use dental floss, believe it or not.
floss.
Anything that's stringy, you can use. So anything that you've got at home.
Any type of string or rope that you have will work just fine. So don't worry about that. Or if you have what we gave you, that's good too. All right, are we ready? So here's my piece of string. You have your piece of string ready? Super. Let's do this. Hold your string up in one hand and make a little loop. Does everybody have a loop in their string? Let me come up here closer so I can show you. We have a little loop in our string. Now I'm just going to tie it in a knot. So we're just going to thread it through and tie it in, whoops, I'm off the picture. Tie it in a knot. Does everybody have that? So it's just a little loop at the top hanging down. What we're going to do is you're going to open up the little hole that you made by tying a knot, and you're going to stick your string through it. The drooping end of the string goes through it. And look, we have like a lasso, like if we were about to go out there and rope the cattle.
Miss Kimberly, can you do that one more time?
Yep. So I'm going to undo it. So we are going to hold our string up by one hand, make a loop, and then we're going to tie a knot on the end of our loop, just like this. Everybody, I keep getting off camera, I'm sorry. And then we have a loop. And then we're going to open up the loop, make the little hole wide, and we will stick the end of our string through the loop like this. And look at, we've made a lasso. Does everybody have that? We'll give you a second to get that settled. Okay, if you have it, hold it in your hand. Well, actually put it down, because we got to make one other thing here. We got to make a place when we put this around his head, it goes, we have to make a place that holds it in our noodle. So what we're going to do is you have the front of your pool noodle where the mouth is, and the back at the top, we're going to just snip
So like in the
a
middle?
little slot, right in the middle in the back. Not where his mouth is, but on the back. Here's his mouth, turn around to the back, and snip with your scissors, just a little slip.
Let me show you guys up close what we need. So you're just gonna do a little snip right there on the back of his head. See how it's broken? There we go.
It's kind of like if you were going to use dental floss in your teeth, there's a little spot between your teeth. That's exactly what we're making. Okay, so take your loop that you had, and you're going to put it on the top, kind of the forehead of your puppet, and pull it tight.
Shall I show them up close?
Show them up close.
All right, so you're gonna put it around his head. You're gonna take your hole, and you're gonna put it around your puppet's head, just like this, and pull tight. And we want our loop closure in the back, right?
Yeah, so we don't see it.
So it's gonna go right on the back of his head, and you can just turn him around. All
While you're
right.
up close, Miss Maribeth, let's show them. So
Okay.
now, find the little slit that you cut with your scissors,
All right, here's my little slit.
and you're going to put your string or floss or yarn in that hole.
Everybody see that?
And now we're doing a magic trick. We're gonna poke it like the rabbit, down into the hole. Poke it, poke it, poke it.
I'm gonna poke this long string down through the hole, and it's gonna take you a minute to work it through, but that's okay.
About halfway, you can stick,
Once you get to the mouth here, you could pull it down in there. Get you see?
use your fingers. You got little fingers.
So he's
Push it
still
down
around
there.
his head. And I took it through that little slit, and now we're gonna take it through his body.
Sew it down the top part, and then keep on going all the way down to the bottom of the puppet.
There we go. All the way through. Do you see that? So now he has a tail.
Now let's do the test. Does your puppet, when you grab the string and you pull it, does he talk to you? I hope he talks to you.
Why not? See? So you pull it straight through. Remember, slit in the back and through the hole.
Good
And you'll kind of
job.
see the string in his mouth, and that's how you know that you did well. So you see the string there? And it comes out the bottom.
And if you have a paper towel roller, same thing. Gonna just do a quick little snip in the back, boop, and you would wrap your string around his head and pull it down in the paper towel, just the same way. Okay, so either that should work just fine. So let's just give everybody a second and make sure they're caught up with us, and they at this point have this wonderful puppet that is starting to talk to us.
Does anyone have any questions? If you're making this along with us, or you're gonna make one when we're done, does anyone have a question on what to do? What maybe they could use in place of something we've used?
And if you're not making this at the same time as us, that's okay. Just take some ideas. Think about I know what I could do when I do this puppet. So if you're just watching and not making, that's perfectly fine. So you guys, look, we have the beginning of our puppet. But now we need to give them some personality. And this is going to be different for everybody. This is where your imagination can go crazy wild. You might have some fabric laying around. This is tulle. I didn't know if that was a fancy term for you guys, but tulle. You could have regular ribbon hanging around. This is just a bag of the ends of ribbon.
You could use more of your yarn.
More yarn.
Ooh, how about that stuff? Miss
Okay,
Kimberly?
this is what I'm excited about because see, I already made this one and I did it with yarn. So when I was looking at our craft closet, I found curly ribbon. So this is the kind of ribbon that we wrap presents with, or your balloons are strung to these. So we had some of that, and I thought this would be fun, for me at least, to try making my puppet out of this. So we're gonna let you guys think about what you wanna use, and a lot of you probably have yarn, because we gave you yarn, and that's perfectly fine. So now we say, how do we make the hair on this puppet work? I had a friend, a little girl, who made one of these on her own, and she did glue it. And her stuck, and I thought that is incredibly awesome because when I tried to use glue, it didn't stick. It kept falling off. Maybe I'm just not patient enough. But we found that this surface is very smooth and it doesn't always like to stick really well with glue. So we decided the best way to do it is you stick things into the pool noodle. So here's some ideas for those. You might have, and this might seem like, oh, I couldn't possibly have this, but you might be surprised. This is like a craft, they call it wire, craft wire. You might have craft wire. You might have, this is floral wire. It's kind of got metal in the middle, but it bends. You might have
bread ties. You could use the bread tie, or if someone you love drinks coffee, they also have ties on the coffee bags.
Another one, and I forgot to bring one, but paper clips would work perfectly. So if you have paper clips, you could open them up and probably just wiggle them back and forth to make two. And these are perfect. And you're like, why are we doing this? This seems so weird. But we're gonna stick them.
We're gonna make hair plugs.
Hair plugs.
So I'm gonna use a pipe cleaner. So if you have pipe cleaners at home, maybe in your craft box, you can use pipe cleaners.
Pipe cleaners will probably be the easiest one. So I'm gonna work on curling ribbon. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is just cut some strands of my curling ribbon, all about the same length. So we're gonna give you a chance to figure out what kind of a hair do you want. It can be short, it can be long, it could be, you know what? You might even decide, I just wanna take my markers and I wanna draw his hair on. I wanna make bangs with a marker. That works too. That's perfectly fine. All right, so let me just cut one more here. And so I could just give you an example of what I've got going on. So here's my curling ribbon. I picked orange. I thought the orange and green would be fun. And let's see. I think Miss Maribeth is using a pipe cleaner, so I'll try some of this wire.
So what I did with the pipe cleaner, I'll show you up close. So here's your pipe cleaner, and I just cut a little piece off. If you don't have rolls of yarn, that's totally okay. You could use twine for hair. You could use curling ribbon. There's lots of different things that you can use for hair. So anything that's like stringing, or you could even just draw on his hair with marker.
Yep, that'd be easy.
Yeah, so I just took a little piece of pipe cleaner and snipped it off.
And I took a little piece of that wire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my ribbon in one hand, and I'm gonna take my wire, and I'm just gonna twist it around there to hold it. Just twist it. If you have the ties that also come with trash bags, those are super good to use. Those are great too. So I'm twisting it around. So now look at, I have my curling ribbon, and he's connected to my little wire. So now I'm gonna take it, and I'm going to take the pointy end of the wire. Let me make sure they're twisted together. And I'm going to stick it into my pool noodle. Let's see, push it down. Remember, you could use paper clips or anything like this that you can find to push it into there. Oops, I pushed it, bent it, and that's okay. If it bends, you can take it out. I'm gonna try again and try and do it a little bit straighter. Let's see, push that down in there. Okay, look, he's starting to have hair. This is funny.
And let me show them what I did with the pipe cleaner piece. So what you're gonna do with the pipe cleaner piece, so I've got my yarn, my little strings of yarn here, and here's my my pipe cleaner, and I have folded it in half. So I took that little teeny piece, and I just folded it in half to make a V, and then I'm gonna take my yarn, and I'm gonna stick it right in the middle. So I'm making a yarn sandwich, see that there? And then I just close it around it, and I turn it upside down, and stick it in his head, right in the top there, see? Just shove it in there, and there's the start of his hair. And I'm just gonna repeat that all the way around, or probably not over his face, but see, like Miss Kimberley did. All the way around, she has little groupings, see little groupings of pipe cleaner stuck in, all the way around to make his hair.
You might have short hair, you might have long hair, you might have bangs, you might not. I know Miss Maribeth on hers, she really wants to put eyebrows on hers. So when she makes some, she's just going to stick it right in the front above where his eyes would be. So we're gonna let you guys work on this as we do. I've now decided that my curling ribbon is going to be multicolored. Instead of just orange.
He's gonna
hair.
have rainbow hair.
Rainbow hair. Okay, this is so much fun.
You can make a unicorn puppet.
Oh, I love that idea. You just have to figure out something in shape of a cone to make your unicorn's head. That would be such a good idea.
Maybe you could take a piece of paper and make a little cone out of it.
Oh, I got another idea. Oh, this would be so fun. If you had a pink pool noodle or something pink, like a cardboard, and you colored it pink, you could make like a pig with a little curly piglet tail. So you could
Totally
stick it
could.
in the back.
You could also, oh, you know what this would make it really good? If you used your paper towel roll, you could then take paper and make him a mane, and you can make a lion.
Oh, that would be super.
And then when your string comes out the bottom, that would be his tail. So how cool is that?
Yep.
There's lots of different things you can do.
So you can use newspaper for that. You could use just scrap paper that you have, that you color on, your coloring paper. So you could do that too. So don't worry if you have different items that we have, that's okay. They all work and they will make incredibly unique puppets. I'm trying to get a little more hair because right now mine's a little bald. Okay, how's yours coming along?
He's coming. And it might be easier, which I'm learning here, to go ahead and cut all of your yarn ahead of time
It could.
and then make your hair plugs. So whatever is easier for you is fine.
We're doing this with you right now because I wanted you to see that this is not hard. And you can use as much yarn or as little yarn as you have or as you want. And if you want to sit there and spend time making lots of hair plugs, that would be super. And they can even be different lengths, so you could have different hairdo.
And you can also, once you get all your hair on there, if it's not all the same length, just give him a haircut.
Oh, that's like a Barbie doll. Give it a try.
Right, give him a haircut.
That's a good idea.
Oh, I'm very excited about my eyebrows.
I can't wait to see your eyebrows. I think I'm gonna make eyebrows this time. My other puppet didn't have eyebrows, but I'm gonna make mine with the marker. So that's an option. Oh, he's coming along nicely. Look at this. Woo! He is coming along nicely. Let me probably do another 1 or 2 hair plugs for him. I wish I could see what you guys are doing right now.
I know, if you're making a puppet, you'll have to send us pictures.
Would love to.
We would love to see your pictures.
It's fun to do the same project with lots of people and see how everyone has a different idea of how to do it. That is so fun.
I mean, even me and Miss Kimberley, we're standing here doing the
Yeah.
exact same thing, and our puppets are gonna have their own personalities, just
Yes.
like us, which is really cool. All right, so I think we're about done with the
Okay.
hair plugs here.
And if you do curling ribbon, you can leave them just like this, or it's like that. Or, here's a little trick. When you take your curling ribbon
This is cool.
and you run something straight on it, I have closed scissors, not open scissors, but closed scissors. But you could use,
Maybe ask a caregiver for help with
caregiver.
this one.
and you could use a butter knife, you could use, a ruler works well too. Oops, one of his hair plugs came out, that happens.
Luckily, you can just stick it right back in.
Yeah.
I'm giving mine a haircut.
Okay. So we can make his hair curly, we can make it, I can trim it. I think I'm gonna have him have nice curly hair. I have straight hair, so I've always wanted curly hair, so my puppet's gonna have curly hair. Here we go. Oh, this is good. This is fun.
I'm working on my eyebrows.
Okay, so look, let me show you mine so far. Let's show you what we got so far here. So here's my little puppet, and he has his hair plugs on the top with the curling ribbon, okay? And I curled some of it, look at that neat motion. Now, Miss Maribeth's gonna have fancy eyebrows. I've decided my eyebrows are gonna be with marker. So, if you have marker and you wanna do that, look, I'm gonna make some big eyebrows right there. Ho, ho, ho. There's his eyebrows. Okay. If you're ready to move on, I'll show you another step. If you're still working, that's okay too. So I just given him hair and then I colored in his eyebrows. I think I want to put his eyes on here next. That helps me figure out what else is gonna go on his face. So in your kit, we did give you some googly eyes. So if you wanna dig out your googly eyes, sometimes they fall on the floor and you have to hunt for them and look for them. So I have 2 googly eyes myself. And if you have a hot glue gun and you're using that with parental supervision, because as you know, they're hot and they can stick to your finger a little bit. So with your caregiver's help, you can just put a little dot of the glue on the back of an eyeball, and we'll stick it on here. You just hold it for a second. If you are using regular glue and you're nice and patient, that will work too. You just have to wait for it to dry. So you might have to sit it down and let it sit like this while the eyeballs dry. So let's show you what we got here. Here he is. Oh, he's coming along nicely.
He's starting to come alive over
He's
there.
looking like a puppet. What else does my puppet need? What do you think he might need?
What kind of accessories did we give him?
Now remember, if you're using a paper towel roll, you're doing the exact same steps. You're cutting out the mouth. You're putting a little slit in the back of the head to hold the string that we put at the top to make our puppet. Okay, so you're gonna do exactly the same stage. So now I think my puppet needs...
Oh look, I have eyebrows.
Oh, her eyebrows are fun.
So I just took the same yarn that I used for the hair and I put them over his eyes. And he has bushy eyebrows.
Hop, hop, hop. I think since my puppet doesn't have a lot of hair that hangs down, he's going to get a headband. Well, what could I make a headband out of? Well, what I have here is some ribbon. That's not a good color. Let me find a color I think.
I'm gonna give mine some teeth, Miss Kimberly.
Ooh.
And you could do teeth like on this one, we used felt, just a felt scrap. Or you could use that same pipe cleaner and instead of putting yarn in the middle, just make that same little bead and stick it up in his jaw like that. Let me show you. And he has a little tooth.
And if Bella, if you're watching, I saw your puppet and I saw that you put a marvelous red lips on your mouth and you colored that in with marker, and I thought that it looked fantastic. And if you don't mind, I think I might borrow your idea and give my puppet lips today, a big red lips. Would that be okay, Bella?
And I don't understand the question about the rolls. What do you mean about the rolls? I'd really like to answer your question. I just don't quite understand. So if you could clarify that for me, then I can answer it for you. Get him one more tooth here.
Okay, so now mine has a headband. I think my puppet is going to work out at the gym.
He looks like he's gonna work out at the gym.
Okay. What else? Oh, I was gonna do some red. So when you looked in your bag and you had pieces of felt, they were all different because I just used scrap pieces out of big bags that we have, leftover pieces. So they could be any color. So you could use it like this little guy, he got a bow tie. You could do lips, you could do teeth, you could do, well, anything you can really come up. You could make a nose out of the felt. That would be fun too.
Ooh, I know. I want to make a necktie, Miss Kimberly.
Oh, that's okay. I'd like to see how you do that. That sounds creative.
I'm gonna get a scrap piece of felt. See what I got here. You can accessorize your puppet any way you want. You can make all different things. And we would love to see what you create.
Now, if you used a paper towel or a toilet paper roll, the gluing part is actually much easier because everything sticks to it. You could also use tape on here. So if you had a paper towel roll, you could use Scotch tape to glue your accessories on, or regular glue or glue stick. They'll work really well with this. Or even duct tape would work on there. So if you have the paper towel roll, that actually is a little bit easier, I think, to accessorize. So keep that in mind, that it can be different, but different is good.
Actually, I can't draw a necktie, so I'm not doing it. Scratch that.
Okay. it with some big.
Let me see your lips. Ooh. That's awesome.
Silly.
Oh, I know. How about some arms, Miss Kimberly?
Oh, arms. Yeah, I didn't even think of arms for my other puppet. So it was funny when I saw someone else's and they had arms, it didn't even occur to me, but I think that is a super, super idea.
So I am just going to use the pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to stick them in on the sides into the foam. You could also use those red ties as arms. There's lots of different things that you could use as arms. So I just stuck them in on the sides, and now he has arms. Oh, how would we attach the hair to a paper towel roll? That's the
Tape
question.
or glue. That's what I would suggest. So you could, hang on, let me put my nose on him really quickly. I had a button, so button was another thing. So if you're doing the paper towel roll and you are going to attach your hair, you could attach it on the inside of the roll with a piece of Scotch tape. Let me come up here and show you. Or you could do it with glue. So if you, whatever you're using, sorry, I'm off the camera again. I gotta move over left. So whatever you're using for the hair, you could just tape it on the inside or glue it on the inside. And then your hair would go all around like that. Or if you're using a paper towel, you might have some fabric of some sort. So you could tie the fabric on the top. You could tie a knot in there or a bow in there. Or you could put it all the way around, sticking up like that if you had fabric. So the paper towel roll is actually a little bit easier to do that. So hopefully that answered your question.
You could also, with the duct tape one, you could draw a robot face on there. So we'll pretend he has a mouth. He doesn't have a mouth. We'll pretend he does.
I've got another idea for you, those of you using a paper towel roll. So if you have a paper towel roll, because things will stick to it so easy, I found stickers in our drawer of wonderful craft supplies. I found some stickers. So you could, if I can get this open, that's the tricky part.
See, I drew it right on with a marker. So it's really easy if you use the duct tape. Oh, wait, we have another question.
Okay, so if you have a paper towel roll and you have stickers, any kind of stickers, you could use that as your decoration because they will stick right onto the paper towel roll, which they didn't do that on the pool noodle. So that's, again, one of the advantages to doing it with that. So I have stickers. You could stick stickers on here. You could draw a mouth on here. And again, you could tape, and I forgot my tape, so I'm sorry about that. But you could tape or glue on the inside or on the outside your hair. Then you could
Here, Miss Kimberly,
tape and
I
draw.
have some tape.
Oh, look at that. So this is painter's tape. We just really went to town in our craft closet. We just looked and found everything that we could possibly find.
What could we use?
And this here is pieces of twine that I found, and it was already even cut into little pieces. I didn't even cut this. It's just how I found it in the closet. So he could make, that could make some good hair. I'm gonna put it together, and then if you have a paper towel roll, you can just put the tape on here, on the bottom, and then I'm gonna stick it inside the paper towel roll and tape it. And look at, I'm making hair. This one looks like it should have a ponytail, doesn't it?
I could not figure out the necktie,
Oh, a bow.
so I made a bow. And I just used scrap ribbon that we had and made a bow. So there's lots of different ideas that you can do with your mounamana puppet. And so what we'll do is we'll take a picture of our puppets and we'll put it in the comments. And this video will stay up on Facebook so you can make it at your own pace, so you can replay it. Like I said, I'll take a picture, put ours in the comments, and if you have any questions, we would love to hear from you, and we would love to see what you create. We hope you all have a wonderful afternoon and that you enjoyed today's program. Have a great one, everyone.
Bye. Create.